What We've Learned in Sociology by Marisa Vidal, Tony Taylor, Hiten Master, and Destiny Medina. First, let's define sociology. Sociology is a scientific study of social behavior, including its origins, development, organization, and institutions. Within our society, we tend to have stereotypes. Stereotypes are a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. Then we have generalizations. Generalizations is a general statement or concept obtained by inference from specific cases. Social phenomena, on the other hand, includes all behavior influences or is influenced by organisms sufficiently alive to respond to one another. Social interaction, however, is how people relate and influence one another. Last but not least, social perspective looks beyond communities and their beliefs. It's also looking at social life in a scientific system and it views the world differently. Now let's look at culture. So what is culture? Culture is the product of human existence. It includes language, economic system, clothing, food, and so on. It also includes family and their values. Now within culture, we have folkways, mores, and taboos. First, let's talk about folkways. Folkways are routine conventions of everyday life. They have little moral significance, and generally they are social conventions such as dress codes, social manners, and neighborly behavior. Now mores are slightly different. Mores are norms that are central to the functioning of society and its social life. They have greater significance than folkways. If there is violation, it can bring serious retribution. Examples of mores are theft, adultery, incest, and cannibalism. Last but not least, we have taboos. Taboos are social or religious customs which prohibit or forbid discussion of a particular practice or forbid association with a particular person, place, or thing. Next, let's talk about sanctions. Sanctions is a reward or punishment that a norm associates with behavior or appearance. Sanctions can either be formal or informal, and positive or negative. A positive example of sanctions is receiving a good conduct medal or receiving a job promotion. A negative example is getting fired or being fired. Then we have subcultures and countercultures. Subcultures coexist within a mainstream culture. Counterculture seeks to change and overthrows the mainstream. Finally, we have taste culture. Taste culture includes folk culture, high culture, and pop culture. Now let's move on to the individual and society. First, we have socialization. Socialization means personality development. Within an individual's life, they will experience various transitional stages. First being childhood, then being tweens, and then teenager, then adolescence, and finally adulthood. As mentioned earlier, socialization has to do with personality development. Personality development means the behavior, attitude, belief, and values that are characteristics of an individual. Then we have nature versus nurture. Nature versus nurture is a psychological term which is related to whether the heredity or the environment most impacts human psychological development. Now within society, we have various statuses. First being the ascribed status. It's assigned and the individual has no control over it. It's based on inherited characteristics. Queen Elizabeth is an example of this. Then we have achieved status. Achieved status is acquired and it's based on talent, social identity, and so on, like Bill Gates. Finally, we have the master status. It's achieved or ascribed and it's the greatest role in one's life. For example, being the President of the United States. Last but not least, we have social institutions. Examples of social institutions are education, religion, politics, economy, and finally, work. That is the end of our presentation. We hope you enjoyed it and thank you for listening.